Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
To the 60s, they had a whole movement going on. I might have the decades mixed up. Y'all do the research. But they started saying, yo, the children are eating paint chips. And because there's lead in the paint, we need to start removing all lead paint from now on. Right? Because I know you've heard about lead paint, right? Yeah, no more lead paint. Why? Because the babies is eating paint chips. In your lifetime, have you ever seen any kid eat paint chips before? No. You? Any paint chips? No? Okay. You know, anytime you want somebody to do something without thinking, just say it's hurting the children. You know what I'm saying? Why would they want to remove lead paint from the homes?
Because
here we go.
Of technology, because of it blocks radiation.
There we go.
It blocks radiation.
Look at the neurons firing. Superman is all powerful, but hey, put that kryptonite in a lead box, he won't know it's there. So how else am I gonna get frequencies, 5G and all that stuff to permeate through your walls and through your home, affecting you so I could see through your house and see your body and connect with you as a network if your paint got lead in it and I can't get in there? So get some lead paint, y'all. You ain't hear that from me.
Is it still?
Yeah, there's still lead paint. Yeah, they got EMF shielding paints and everything.
I don't know for sure that this is the reason for the push against lead paint, but it makes perfect sense. And when you see the videos of what they can do with Wi-Fi now, looking right through your walls, pinpointing your exact location inside your house, and they do all that using your own wireless router, if there was lead paint on the walls, they wouldn't be able to use that technology. The signal wouldn't go through the wall. So it looks like that was all propaganda to make us easier to spy on.
You've never seen an engine like this before. Congratulations, you're in for a treat. The operation of this engine is incredibly simple. Just a shake of the hand is enough to start it. Inspired by a video, this engine requires no fuel to run. Instead, it operates solely on a few strategically placed magnets. To meet their design needs, the creators built a basic engine from scratch. They crafted the crankshaft, cylinder, and even the piston, which was made from magnetic material. Since this engine lacks a conventional power source, they turned to the principle of magnetic repulsion, using magnets with the same polarity. By placing a magnet at the top of the piston and another of the same polarity above it, the repelling force drives the piston's movement. Thus, they successfully created an engine that theoretically runs on magnetic force alone. To start it, all that's needed is an external push to set things in motion. After installing this engine in a vehicle, they found it could drive normally, although at a slightly slower speed. In theory, as long as the magnet's strength doesn't fade, this machine could keep running indefinitely.
So if you're like me, and when you first saw this, you thought this was a joke, clearly, and just there was no way this was real, someone actually posted a longer form video over in the Discord in the submissions tab that you can watch that shows this thing from concept all the way to completion. It is actually a real engine that somebody built. Now, I don't see this thing taking over the auto industry or nothing. It looks pretty slow and clunky, and that's probably going to be the only reason these guys don't disappear next week. These guys probably shouldn't improve on this design unless they want to go missing. They should probably stop while they're ahead. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this type of content, I post a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday. It'd be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me. Also, don't forget to check out the merch store at www.barry-stepp.com.
Did you hear this disturbing news about Pixar and Disney? I need everybody to share this immediately because what I'm about to tell you and show you is extremely disturbing. Bohan Buchiba, a key veteran of Disney and Pixar animation studios, is currently awaiting trial in Paris. He is accused of having ordered the rape of hundreds of young girls in the Philippines through live streaming. Prior to his arrest, Buchiba, 59, had been a key animator at Disney and Pixar for decades. He was an animator on Esmeralda and Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hades and Hercules, and the title character of Tarzan, as well as supervising animator of Jumba and Lilo and Stitch. But at Pixar, Buchiba animated on The Incredibles, Ratatouille, and even Up. And he even worked in the story and development on Soul, Incredibles 2, Luca, and even Elemental. But this is when it gets really, really disturbing. As you can see, the investigation revealed that he had been paying for remote sexual abuse of minors aged 3 to 15 years old. And the number of live streams that he conducted number in the hundreds and could reach as many as 1,000 children, according to investigators. But this gets even worse. I mean, this is really up. As you can see, Buchiba, who referred to children as pigs, admitted during his interrogations that the children whose abuse he ordered were scared and often crying. saying it's horrible what's happening to them, and I think they express it to the adult, and the adult most of the time doesn't stop. What the f? But Buchiba had previously been arrested and convicted in 2014 for assaulting the 8-year-old daughter of his partner at the time, and he received a 2-year suspended sentence at the time. It was discovered during the first criminal case that he had viewed child what? Apparently, the assault conviction did not affect his animation prospects, and afterwards he continued to work on Pixar animated features. That is actually insane, but then again, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm sure people know about Disney by now, and if you don't, you really need to get in touch with reality. But this is so f***ed up, man. And I don't see how Pixar or Disney could even allow this man to continue working.
I think the big part that shocks me on this one is just that they knew this guy had been convicted of such disturbing things, and they continued to put him onto these big projects and continue to work with him. So clearly, if that's the case, nobody had a problem with what he was doing. So they're all at the very least complicit, and they're okay with it. Or there would have been an uproar inside that company, and they would have done away with him. That tells me that everyone there who was aware of this guy's past, in some shape, fashion, or form, is involved in this stuff themselves. At the very least, they're willing to help someone else cover it up. So in my eyes, they might as well be doing it themselves. I honestly feel like this guy's entire team needs to be investigated. This is absolutely disgusting.
Busy day, set off from home this morning at 3 a.m. and I've just got back into 2 a.m. I've been on the road for 23 hours, making meetings, talking to certain people who I need to talk to, because I've had enough now. I'm going to war, peacefully going to war with the UK elite political classes. So what I'm doing, so as you all know, I want you to put it around as much as you can, I'm forming a company. I'm coming out of retirement. I retired in 2009, I'm coming out of retirement, and I'm going to start a company. And our mission is going to be to discredit dishonest politicians. I'm going to recruit ex-SAS, ex-SBS, ex-cops, a gang who I will vet myself personally, and they'll have to turn up the CVs. I'm going to use a recruitment company for the advertising, for the jobs, and they'll have to come and they'll have to prove to me that they're worth their salt with a proven track record and all the rest of it. Okay? And our mission is going to be to discredit dishonest politicians and put right things that aren't being done properly. Our first mission when we get going is going to be to stop the boats. Now, the government have had 14 years and failed miserably. I reckon I can do that quite quickly once I've got the right team in place. I'm not going to tell you how, but I am the closest thing that actually exists to James Bond. Now, that's not me being big-headed, that's a fact. My CV, my work CV, would gag an elephant. Right? There's nothing I can't do in a covert, surveillance, undercover, firearms, courier for kidnap extortion. Literally, I've got the fucking shooting match on my ticket. And I'm going to war with you bent fuckers at the top. Because you are destroying my country. And it's got to stop. So, I'm going to Tommy Saturday. And I'm disappearing already for a couple of weeks so I can recharge my batteries. When I come back, it's full steam ahead. Hope to have the company formed by the end of the year. I want Martin Bridger to run it for me because I've got no fucking business acumen whatsoever. And we are going to go to fucking war with you bent bastards. So please share this. I'm deadly serious. You can't stop me because I'm as honest as the day's long. You can't fucking honest man. But boy, I'm going to fuck you dishonest one.
While I can't help but feel a little excited to see someone standing up for their country and standing and pushing back against corrupt politicians, I feel like this would have been a lot more effective had he not given them a heads up. Aren't they just going to come after this guy now and stop his company from making headway at every possible turn? I'm not very familiar with this gentleman, but for someone who's supposed to be the real-life James Bond, that was a major miscalculation. He literally just gave away the upper hand so he could look tough to people on the internet.
It's Glamham. It's no secret that this flight pattern has bothered me and a lot of people. Flying 2 weeks before Hurricane Helene was announced, mainly because it's around here. So I thought, where else is this special NASA P3 Orion flown? Go look and I see, Ontario, California. So I check it. Seems to be doing some exploring of the Salton Sea, and then definitely seems to be very interested in the area near the Salton Sea. So I think, does NASA have something to do with the Salton Sea? Well, it does, big time. Apparently, since 2008, NASA has had a presence there. Now, I'm sure there's tons of biology and geology reasons that NASA would have been there. But I look at this. What is at the bottom? of the Salton Sea. Lithium. And I feel, what? What? Not just any lithium, the world's biggest deposit of lithium in geothermal brine. Enough to produce batteries for 375 million electric cars. I have no particular direction I'm going with this video. All I know is once again, I thought that is a coincidence. See you in the comments. Take care.
For obvious reasons, I can't sit here and tell you exactly what I think, but when you have this much evidence all pointing to the idea that this thing was steered into those mountains, and you have all those mineral deposits that the government wants to mine, and you have all the people in the area telling the government no chance, it's starting to look very obvious what's going on here. At the very least, even if you completely take away all of the ideas of the government being involved in the storm itself, at the very least, they're taking advantage of the situation. I think this, as well as those Hawaii fires, all need to be investigated as if they were intentional. And if there was some funny business going on, people need to be held accountable. It feels like someone's playing God and they're being allowed to destroy lives in the process without any repercussions. I don't see how we could have a planet that's the size of what Nibiru is supposed to be just sneak up on us by hiding behind the sun. That's what it sounds like he's trying to say here. I also noticed he didn't give any kind of timeline of when this is supposed to happen. I think, honestly, that this is just wishful thinking because people want to believe in the story of the Anunnaki and that they're going to come back. I just personally haven't seen any evidence to show that Planet X or Nibiru even exists. It absolutely could, but I haven't seen any evidence of it. So my best guess on this is that this gentleman is just saying what he hopes will happen.
Rumors say Beyonce supports Kamala Harris to deflect attention from her appearances at Diddy's parties. Politics and entertainment are more intertwined than ever. Circulating rumors suggest that major stars like Eminem, Beyonce, and Leonardo DiCaprio are backing Kamala Harris to shift attention away from their connections to Diddy's exclusive parties. These events bring together influential entertainment figures, and now it seems these connections are spilling over into politics. Is their support genuine or just a strategic move to protect their images? With celebrity backing, Kamala's campaign could gain traction, but how will this impact her public image? Share your thoughts below and let us know if you want a part 2. Do you think that if Kamala wins, it could influence Diddy's release? Share your thoughts.
I don't know that this is true, but think about what Elon Musk just said to Tucker Carlson in that interview about a week and a half ago, that the elites are scared of a Trump presidency because he intends to release the Epstein client list. If you're on that list for any reason, you're not going to want that information getting out there. I'm betting it has more to do with that than it does any kind of connections to this P. Diddy stuff. Anyone who's connected to Diddy, I feel like, will just claim they were a victim because it looks like he was the predator and everyone was a victim. But you can't claim that if you're on the Epstein client list.
I don't trust Elon at all.
What was he doing?
There's a clip where he's talking about Neuralink, and he's saying Neuralink can now take a snapshot. He compared it to like saving in a game. He was like, there's nothing in science that should prevent us from being able to take that same Neuralink chip and implant it into another biological being.
Oh my gosh.
But think about that. If he's creating robots that need human consciousness to operate, could he pull Neuralinks
and make them like put the consciousness, if you will, into a robot?
Couldn't you offer that as a job? Like somebody who doesn't have a job, they could like wear their glasses and like a remote, and you could be an assistant to somebody in LA.
Yeah. It's like if your artificial intelligence is not smart enough to do these things yet, why not have people operate it? Like at least in like a Tesla station or something.
So it'd be like having a driver.
Yeah. Like giving them ideas.
I'm just saying, I'm just going to moonlight as a robot
Elon,
in the night.
We got to get Elon on this podcast.
This is a horrible idea and should absolutely not be done. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this concept and it doesn't make any sense to me. If you save your mind and then upload it to a machine body, there aren't then two of you. There is you and then there is a copy of you. But how does that copy have your essence if we don't even know where that's stored? So they'll have your thoughts, but not necessarily be you. And two people can't exist at the same time and share a soul. So who gets the soul if there's two of you? Does the copy have a soul? Or does it live without one? And how does that work? This makes me think of a million different questions, all likely with no answer. It certainly feels like very dangerous territory to be dabbling in.
Late one night on October the 7th of 2024, while working the evening shift in a smoke shop somewhere in Birmingham, UK, a woman named Jocelyn hears a strange noise coming from the back of the store. She's working the night shift alone, so nobody else is in the building. But when she looks at the security monitor, she sees something utterly terrifying.
Guys, I'm working by my fucking self, and I hear fucking noise in the bed. What the fuck, bro?
An object can be seen moving on its own before someone or something quickly dashes across the back of the room. Jocelyn was so shaken up by what she had seen that she didn't attend work the next day. Instead, she asked her colleague who works the day shift to make a video showing the back area where we saw the figure, and how it isn't possible for someone to fit back there.
Hi guys, this is Bernice. Jocelyn didn't come this morning to work, but she wants me to give you a tour of the back rooms and the storage. So come on, let's go. Well, this is over here is where the incident happened, which was kind of crazy because when you told me last night, I was like, what the fuck? And obviously people saw another person, but I didn't see no one. And I don't even know how a person can fit in here, you know? So yeah, it's kind of weird.
After seeing the back room cluttered with objects, it does seem like someone couldn't fit in there, especially moving at that fast speed we saw. So just what is this? The very next night, Jocelyn finishes up her shift and closes the store down, ensuring that nobody is left inside. But around 3:51 AM, the security cameras captured this. A ladder suddenly falls on its own, and a pillow comes bouncing down the stairs at the same time. Creeped out by these events, she is now hesitant to work the late shifts alone. Just who or what did they see back there?
I have no idea what that was, but I'm not going to say that it was faked. I slowed that footage down and watched it forward and backwards a dozen times, and I can't find anything that jumps out to me that says this is altered or tampered with. It looks like she may have legitimately caught something paranormal on video here. Her reaction's believable, and they show that clearly nothing could be in that area. Certainly nothing the size of what was shown moving through there on video, and there wasn't even anywhere for it to move to if it was in that area. At the speed it was going, it would have had to go through the wall. Creepy.
Just a few days ago, on October 15th of 2024, a man named Trent was staying at an Airbnb over at Skane Atlas Lake in New York, when late one night he experiences something undeniably chilling. The owner of the Airbnb told him that his daughter died in a car accident, and he placed her ashes on a piano in one of the rooms. And ever so often, guests will report experiencing creepy things in the house. And that's exactly what happened with Trent.
Okay, I usually do not, or I never have believed in like haunted stuff, okay? But I'm out at Skinny Atlas Lake, the Fingers Lakes in upstate New York. And the Airbnb I'm staying at, the guy did say, just FYI, we do have people say that they hear a piano play at night. And I thought it was bull. I swear to God, I've heard it. It plays. There's nobody in here. I'm gonna walk over here, so in case I die, I have a documentation of it, okay? It's an old house. It's on a beautiful lake though. But I did find out the guy who owns the place, daughter died in a car wreck, and her ashes are on the piano. God, I get chills. But that's the piano, and it plays at night, and it freaks me out. I have chill bumps just being in this room. I do not get a good vibe, but it's scary.
Later that same night, they hear sounds coming from that very same room. It's at that moment Trent pulls his phone out and starts to record. Watch closely.
I'm telling you, this place is haunted. Do you heard that?
Yeah, I can't do this.
No, you go in there with me.
Yes. You have to go first.
Just stay behind me. It keeps playing, I swear. No, dude, I'm not going up in that. It's this piano, I swear to God it is. No, dude, you got me up. If I die, I swear, I will. Dude, no.
As they approach the room, we can see one of the piano keys plays on its own, instantly startling the two, causing them to run out of there in a panic. Perhaps the owner should consider moving the ashes to another location.
I know a lot of you are going to think that I'm being too skeptical here, but I feel like this video was faked. It seems believable on its face, but whenever you zoom in under the piano right before the key gets pressed, you can clearly see the shadow of a leg walking next to the piano. Someone was walking there, probably in a green suit, pressing that key, and then was digitally removed in post-processing. It would be a little complicated because of the movement of the camera, but even I could do it in probably less than an hour and make the exact same believable footage. I could be wrong, but I don't buy this one.
Peter Stepp, a successful farmer and an owner of many vineyards. It said that this pamphlet came out in London, and it was detailing his trial and all the crimes that he committed.
What was he being accused of?
Murder. He started off by saying at a young age, he attracted the devil to make a deal with him. The devil gave him a girdle, which when he put on, transformed him into the likeness of a greedy, devouring wolf, being inclined to blood and cruelty.
Ew.
So the story goes, the town started noticing there was multiple people dying, mainly children and pregnant women. Gruesome murders. All the men in the community formed a hunting party. They finally came across this giant wolf creature, and they surrounded him to where he could not escape. And he took off his girdle and transformed back into a man. And it said all the men surrounding were shocked by what just happened.
This has to just be an old wives' tale. I thought it was interesting and maybe in some form the origin story for the werewolf myth, but I don't believe it's true. It's ridiculous.
My take is that could very well be true. Open up a gap between your temporal consciousness and your non-terminal consciousness. Your mind is it's an extended, stratified thing. We're just using our terminal consciousness right now, but there are other aspects to your consciousness. You can actually get, certain kinds of insights and communications if you just open up a gap. You understand? And let them come in and fill the gap, and then you can see them.
I usually write them off and I tell people, you're just hallucinating. But they might be seeing something real.
Again, what is reality? Is reality just stuff out there? No. Reality has a mental aspect. Once you admit that basically everything has a mental aspect, then of course what's going on in your mind is real. It is nevertheless real. Once your mind is messed with in that way, something else, it's weakened, you're not exactly in control anymore, something else can come in and grab it. And if you open up that gap that I was talking about, what can come into that gap might not be good for you. Saying the devil likes coherence. Coherence is what brings everything into superposition, right, with itself. In other words, it allows something to, this is going to sound a little bit paradoxical, allows something to communicate non-locally with itself. Okay. Right? All of its possible states are in superposition. They exist all at once. Pretty much inescapable.
So you never got, because I would always have people tell me, especially in college, they'd say, Michael, you have to drop out, to expand your mind.
In terms of, you may have certain things, certain mental routines that are destructive, that aren't good for you, that can be interdicted.
What's your take on it?
I always found this to be a very interesting topic of conversation. If reality is really just our experience or our mental perception of the world around us, then we're taking quite a risk whenever we use any of these hallucinogenic drugs, because they may alter our perception in such a way that they alter our actual reality. Even if you're seeing things that aren't actually there, is that not reality? If you see it, or sense it in other ways, isn't not really there. The only thing that we have to go off of to prove that our everyday local reality is just that is our perception or our senses, the way that we perceive our environment. If you're able to perceive things that other people can't, does that mean that that thing is not really there? Or are you just, like this guy's talking about, tapping into a reality that's always there in superposition? This is a crazy one to think about. I don't know where I'll lie on either side of it, but I can absolutely see how it could be true that what you experience is reality, even if other people aren't experiencing the same thing and they're standing right next to you. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out www.barry-stepp.com if you'd like to order yourself a shirt or a hat or a hoodie. Y'all have been buying the mess out of those hoodies, and I greatly appreciate it. That's awesome. Also, don't forget to post your photo of your merch over in the Discord if you want to get your photo in a video. But with all that out of the way, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your Monday, and I will see you all tomorrow.